Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive, bringing you guys a brand new Pokemon Sword and Shield video today. In this video, I'm going to be talking about all of the returning Pokemon for Pokemon Sword and Shield, not including Galar Pokemon or Galarian forms. So this video should be about as spoiler-free as it gets. In fact, I even removed the new Galarian Pokemon, so that way you don't have any sort of idea of what Pokemon evolve into what or whatever, or at least it's very ambiguous. I don't want to spoil anyone in this video, and if there happens to be something that slips through the cracks, I do apologize. But again, I removed all of the new Pokemon, I removed all of the spots that they were in, and everything like that. So I just want to let you guys know that obviously there could be a Galarian Pokemon of a previous Pokemon, like Weezing, that may obviously make an appearance in Sword and Shield, but it's not going to be included in this video because I wanted to make this one exclusively spoiler-free for those of you guys who want to know what's in the decks and see if your favorite Pokemon have returned. Now, for those who didn't hear it, this is a spoiler coming up. I'm going to tell you how many Pokemon are in the decks. There is 400 Pokemon in the Pokedex for the Galar region. As of right now, it doesn't seem as though there is a post-game Pokedex, but until the games come out, we can't confirm or deny that. There was a rumor floating around that there was going to be post-game decks, but that seems to be kind of not really confirmed at this point. So we'll have to see what happens there, but be sure to hit that like button down below, guys. Subscribe if you guys are new. We're closing on 500,000 subscribers, and let me know in the comment section below which Pokemon on this list you're most excited that's returning to the Galar region. And of course, if you saw my video yesterday, we kind of made a meme or joke type video about Sword and Shield, and if you didn't hear, I'm just gonna say it straight up. Some people got in trouble for posting leaked images and things like that, so we're gonna continue to cover some of the information, but just don't expect any leaked pictures. Like, that's basically what I'm gonna do. I wasn't trying to hide anything. In fact, if you look at my Twitter, I had addressed it pretty clearly on Twitter. I just didn't want to post any, I just made a video, like, to be funny, like it was meant to be a joke. So, anyway, let's keep it rocking here. So let's talk about the Pokedex, because there's some really cool Pokemon that are appearing in Sword and Shield that I'm actually really excited about, and I think a lot of you guys are waiting to hear about this too. So, we've got the Caterpie line, obviously we knew about Butterfree, we've got Vikavolt, I'm very excited about that Pokemon. In fact, for me, if I had to leave a comment like you guys should, Vikavolt is the Pokemon I'm most excited for. Hoothoot and Noctowl, of course, some early game birds. Pidove and Unpheasant making their appearance. Lotad, Ludicolo, and their counterparts from Hoenn, Seedot, and Shiftry made it. So, cool water types, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the implications from competitive standpoint in this. When you have a Pokemon like Ludicolo, very good rain sweeper. There are some rain setters, so I think that could be really beneficial. You've got Purloin, Leopard, of course, nice dark type, and then Bunnelby and Diggersby, which I think is going to be a big threat in this generation with huge power. Chinchino makes the cut with its skill link. Serena, pretty cool grass type Pokemon that has some viability in both singles and doubles, so we'll be interested to see that. Bellossom, of course, the grass type Pokemon. One of the beauties of Vileplume is its Strength Sap ability, or Strength Sap move, which is really good. I'd be curious to see if something like Vileplume got a buff in this game with Spore, though, because all it would take is one move like that to really significantly improve a Pokemon like Vileplume. You've got Roselia and Roserade to continue the grass type Pokemon, and then you've got Pelipper, which is going to be the primary rain setter in Pokemon Sword and Shield. So that'll be really cool from a VGC perspective and just competitive perspective. You've got some electric types here, Galvantula, which we've seen in trailers, and Manectric, and then Vulpix, Ninetales, Growlithe, and Arcanine. And then, of course, you've got the Vanillux line, which is going to be one of the primary hail setters for competitive. Mamoswine makes its return, which we've seen in the trailer previously, a Swinub was. Delibird somehow makes the cut for a good present time. Snorunt, Glalie, and Frostlass also make it as ghost-type Pokemon. So Glalie is going to be very underwhelming, though, without a Mega Form. So it is one of the few Pokemon that does get Freeze Dry. Super cool there, but again, a little bit underwhelming without having any sort of Mega Evolution to work with. So we'll have to see if Glalie has any viability. A lot of these Pokemon are going to need some buffs to really be able to compete. Claydol, of course, a good Rapid Spinner, Ground and Psychic type Pokemon with Levitate. Mudsdale, Stamina from Alola region. Somehow Crustle made the cut, which I'm actually pretty excited about. It's one of those Pokemon that's really cool because it can set multiple layers of hazards, spikes, and stealth rocks, which is pretty cool. We've got Golurk, also confirmed, obviously the ground and ghost type powerhouse. Masharna, the pure psychic type, little flower kind of, I don't know, thing. Natu and Xatu, again, previously seen in trailers. Beware, which had a huge plot in the, part in the anime, so not surprising to see that make its return. Abomasnow again, the secondary hail setter, and there may be other weather setters from new Pokemon, but I don't know of any, and I'm not going to tell you any anyway. We got Abomasnow here, and then we got Krabby and Kingler. Excited to see Kingler make its return. Really cool Pokemon. Quagsire, of course, really great typing. Ground and water is a really good Pokemon, so I think Quagsire may end up having a really important role in competitive in this game, simply because it is, from what I could tell, one of the few Pokemon that does still have Unaware. Corphish and Crawdaunt, a very powerful adaptability mon. I was super thrilled to see my little bros Nincada, Ninjask, and Shedinja make the game. Really cool bug types that are pretty unique, and Shedinja actually is really cool. It can either be like one of the most powerful Pokemon or really, really bad, but really cool to see those Pokemon make it. The Hitmones, of course, make it. Hitmonlee, Chant, and Hitmontop are going to be some of the predominant rapid spinners in the game. We've got Pancham and Pangoro, a dark and fighting type Pokemon, and then we have Clink, Clang, and Klinklang, a steel type Pokemon that's pretty cool. Hopefully it learns some better moves though, because the problem with Klinklang in the past is it really can only use steel and electric type moves, and it really needs to get something like an earth power or an earthquake. In fact, earthquake would be insane because you could use its shift gear, I believe it's called, to boost its speed and its attack, and then it could actually be a formidable sweeper if it had earthquake. You've got Vespiquen, which we've seen in trailers, very nice. Bronzong, gonna be a premier Pokemon in this format. Bronzong is known for being just an incredibly powerful competitive Pokemon because of its great stats in terms of its bulk, its great abilities and levitate and heat proof. I think Bronzong is gonna be very important. Gardevoir and Gallade, of course, without Mega Evolution, so they're gonna go to being just average Pokemon now, unfortunately. Pokemon that really benefited from having Mega Evolutions no longer do. And then Drifblim, which, believe it or not, Drifblim is one of the more predominant Pokemon in VGC because of its ability to carry those seeds, Psychic Seeds, Grassy Seeds, etc., most commonly paired with Tapu Lele, allowing it to set up Tailwind and stuff like that. So it'd be very interesting to see if Drifblim makes another strong standing in VGC, because it was a very viable Pokemon. Cherubi and Cherum, I think for Cherum to be good, it needs some serious changes, whether it's through its stats or through its ability. Really average or mediocre Pokemon. Skunktank, cool dark and poison type, so kind of filling the void of what was Alolan Muck. In terms of being just a defogger, it gets some cool other options like fire type moves. Seismitoad, really cool Pokemon, Swift Swim user as well. We'll have to see if that's able to do anything. Dusk Noir, really bulky ghost, and of course Dusclops really benefits from Eviolite. Machamp, of course, big fighting type. Gengar making its return. I don't know if Gengar is gonna get Levitate back. It's probably still got Cursed Body. Gyarados, of course, very, very big threat. Gyarados is a monster. Seeking, another Swift Swim user, so could potentially abuse Rain. Artillery, just an average water type. Cloyster. Milotic, of course, very bulky, and with competitive could end up being really good, especially if there's stat drops involved. We know Gothitelle is in the game, which I'm going to get to in a little bit, but competitive, a really cool ability. Basculin, Wishy-Washy, Pyukumuku, and then Garbodor, of course. Diglett and Dugtrio, so Dugtrio having the trapping option. Excadrill, I think, is going to be one of the premier Pokemon in this game. I think it's going to definitely, by far, be one of the best Pokemon to have on both VGC and Draft League. Gigalith, of course, being the Sand Setter to pair with that, but there is also Hippopotame. It's somewhere. I don't know where, but it's somewhere. I don't know. I don't think I looked at it yet. It's somewhere in the decks, dude. I don't know. Timber, Conkeldurr, gonna be really good, really powerful. Swoobat, Noivern, and then Steelix, of course. Really cool ground and steel type Pokemon. Cutiefly and Ribombee made it. Nice little fairy bugs. Ferrothorn, very bulky boy. Gourgeist, one of my favorites. I love me some Gourgeist. Raichu, of course, and then our Evolutions here. I'm not gonna tell you what's going on with Evolution, but you can see that there's some Evolutions there. You've got Esper and Meowstic, Swirlix and Slurpuff. Slurpuff, a sticky web user. Aromatisse, a really bulky fairy type, and Araquanid makes it back, which I think is really important for Trick Room. Won't be able to use Waterium Z, but can still benefit from just hitting really hard with Liquidation. Wobbuffet, another trapping type Pokemon, and then you've got Chinchou Lantern, nice bulky waters, Toxicroak, Scrafty, Shuckle Baby, Whiscash, which is just pretty average ground type. But some of these mons may get buffs, so we'll have to see. Gastrodon, I'm a big fan of Gastrodon. Storm Drain is so vital to stop Rain from just being insane. Golisopod, a really cool Pokemon as well from the Alola region, and Barbaracle makes it through. Salazzle also making it through, a fire and poison type, and then you've got Bisharp, Throw and Sock, a couple fighting types. Sudowoodo, Clefable, really good Magic Guard user. Togekiss, of course, the Flinch God. Snorlax, very important for Trick Room. Whimsicott, Rhydon, Rhyperior, Gothitelle, of course, with Shadow Tag. Reuniclus, another cool Trick Room user. Escavalier as well. A Selgor, so some cool bugs. Behem, hopefully gets a little buff this game. Beartic, Braviary, Mandibuzz, And then we've got Drapion, we've got Chandelure, which could be really good, Malamar, Weavile, so some really cool dark types, Sableye and Mawile, but without Megas are gonna be a little bit lackluster. Maractus, of course, somehow made it, but does have Storm Drain, so with the stat buff could be viable. Lucario, of course, makes it. Sigilyph, Torkoal, and Mimikyu. Mimikyu, I think, is gonna be very good, by the way, one of my favorites. The Quillfish, Frillish, Jellicent, Toxapex, of course, the bulky boy. Hippowdon, there it is, the Sand Setter. Durant and Heatmore made it together. We've got Helioptile and Heliolisk. Heliolisk with its multiple abilities could be really cool. Hawlucha, of course, with that Unburden, isn't going to have auto terrain, but through Dynamaxing could. Flygon, and then a bunch of dragons, right? Haxorus. We've got Aegislash, going to be premier, dude. Aegislash is going to be so good. Trevenant, Shiinotic, Oranguru, and Passimian, of course. Drampa and Turtonator, so a couple like complementary pieces. And Togedemaru, which I think could also be very good. Mantine, hopefully Togedemaru gets spikes, by the way. Mantine and Wailord, a couple water types. Avalugg hopefully gets a little bit more love. Delmise, Lapras, Lunatone, Solrock. Somehow it's Lunatone and Solrock making it this game, but they don't make it into Sun and Moon. Go figure. Rotom and Ditto. Charizard makes it. Type Null, Savali, T-Tar, Hydreigon, Goodra, Como, O. That is your list, man. So you may notice that Charizard made it and the other starters did not. That is the only starter Pokemon that made it, was Charizard. So that's your list, pretty crazy list. I'll put the full list in the description below, but I actually linked to the Twitter account for you guys that I got it from, or at least the Reddit post or whatever. But be warned, if you go to that post, there's gonna be spoilers. I'll actually include a spoiler-free link and then a spoiler link. So I'll include this one and the spoiler link, and I'll label them spoiler-free for those who don't want to see it or whatever. So yeah, man, that's our decks there. You guys can let me know what you think. I know a lot of people were pretty disappointed at the number, simply the number, but I said this on Twitter this morning. One of my favorite things about Pokemon ever was Sun and Moon when I played VGC. There was only 300 Pokemon in the format, and it was one of the most dynamic metagames I've experienced. It seemed like every tournament something else emerged as being kind of the dominant threat or team, and I think that could happen with this game. I think they really carefully picked the Pokemon with competitive in mind, and while the casual fan may not be that excited, I mean, how many of us really are going to catch 900 Pokemon in our experience? 400 I think is actually a pretty solid number, and while I'm not defending it, I would much prefer it to be much higher than that, and I do think it's ridiculous that there isn't a post-game dex. If that is the case, I'm trying to stay open-minded, because complaining about it isn't going to do anything. You either buy the game or you don't buy the game, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this spoiler-free video. Hit that like button down below, subscribe if you guys are new, and let me know which Pokemon you're most excited for. That's a previous Pokemon for the new game. So, and try to keep the comments spoiler free if possible. Thank you guys. That's it for me. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.